alright, yeah. It's still cold enough to wear woolly hats in the house. Still only February, nearly March. Might get a bit warmer. But anyway, today's task is to fit, not a headlight, but there's a headlight. And here, in this box of amazingness, is a scoop, a vent type thing. It's going to fit in there, hopefully. So, first thing we need to do is, we need to remove the glass part. Is it glass? I don't know if it's plastic glass. We need to remove the front cover from the back part of the headlight. We're going to do that using one of these. I don't think I've ever used a hairdryer before. This seems to say Remington on it. Don't know if that's good or not, we'll find out. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to heat up all around there. All around there, try and get all the glue soft, and then I have a very thin screwdriver and a little trim tool as well to try and prise the top part off the other part, and hopefully that'll go well. So the plan is basically get this part off the back, and then we can sort of weigh up roughly where we want that, and then I have no idea how I'm going to make the holes for that yet. Probably going to use a drill, cut a rough shape out, see if we get anywhere near, and then I'll probably use like a multi-tool, hopefully just to smooth it off to get the shape I want. There was also a piece for this vent which, I'll shift that out of the way a bit. So there's the vent there, and this piece here slots into it that way. So I'm assuming that piece there will obviously slot into the back of the headlight, so we'll also have to trim the back part of the headlight there. Now, I'm hoping that there is going to kind of sort of go in that position there, which it doesn't actually fit in the hole, but I'm hoping that's kind of roughly where it goes. So I'm probably going to have to trim that hole a bit longer, because that is bigger than that. So I might actually have to chop a bit out of there as well to make that pass through, because I'm assuming that will pass. Yeah, it looks like it's going to come that far. And then that will give us a vented headlight, allowing us to get air into our car to make it go faster, is the theory. Whether that works or not, who knows. But anyway, I think it looked quite cool anyway. So that is this plan for today. First off, remove that part. From that part, I might use the oven first for a bit. What do you reckon, 180 degrees, 20 minutes? What do you say, Kat? Nah, not interested. Let's try this then. Put it in here. I'll just put it on for like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes first to see. So we'll put that on, and we want oven, which is, I've never known that to be an oven symbol before, but apparently it is. That one there. 200 it's on. That's a fan oven. Should be alright. And we'll see what happens with that. I'll just give it 10 minutes. I'll put a timer on just so I don't forget. I think it's that one. 10 minutes. That'll do. 10-minute timer, then it'll switch off at least in case I forget about it. And about seconds. Rubbish, this is bloody useless. That says minutes, you know. It's come up in seconds. Hey. That's a lot of turning to get to 10 minutes in it. You don't need to be that long. Gotta be a quicker way. There we go, 10 minutes. And we're off. Are we off? We're off. Cool. I'll report back. Right, we've had 5 minutes, and it's pretty warm actually, the plastic already. Feels a little bit softer. I can bend these tabs pretty easy, which is good. That means they might come away, because they'll all be glued in and around all the way down there. I imagine, well, it'll be sealed all the way around, stop the moisture getting in. So, let's get the hairdryer on it to finish it off so I can sort of focus in the area that I want. And I'm going to try and just start on the bottom of there, come all the way up there. I won't be using these straighteners. Don't know what they're for. Got them by accident. And then we'll try and split it with we'll get the tiny little screwdriver in and try and prise it, and also using the trim tool just to try and ease it open, but no force, just so it doesn't break anything. And then we'll get that bit split off. So let's try and do that now. See how we get on. Where's the hairdryer? There it is. Right, so as you can see there, if you can, it is actually starting to pull away. So I'm not even putting any effort in there. There's a little, you see that little bit there? Zoom in, focus, focus, focus. That's a little bit of the glue there anyway. It's not going to focus in for some reason, is it? That's a little bit of the glue. Ah, there you go. That's a little bit of the glue there, and that's soft. So move it away. So that's good. So we'll just keep going with the hairdryer and keep going all the way along until we can get this top part cracked off, and then we will commence with the bottom. It's actually pulling away quite alright. So that's the oven timer. I didn't use the 10 minutes. I did about 5. So I figured 10 minutes might be a bit much because it was starting to feel pretty warm and smelling a bit plasticky. So let's just carry on trying to separate this. Right, so using the little plastic trim tool, what I'm doing is I'm just pushing the trim tool into there, and then I'm sort of poking it back underneath and then sliding it all the way along, and that's sort of removing the glue, because if you just put it in that face, I mean, it's going to be glued on that entire lip there, so you need to kind of get yourself in there. Removing the glue one snot at a time. Yeah, it's very tedious. Got little bits with the screwdriver, a lot of it with this. Problem is, as you're doing it, as you go around the headlight, the bits start to cool down, start to get a lot more tacky and a lot more sticky. I mean, that bit of glue there is pretty solid again already, after however long it's been off. Quite solid. So it does take a while. Obviously, if you focus on one area with the hairdryer, get as far as you can into it, and then move your hairdryer around and keep going around the headlight and getting, you know, like sort of like 4, 5, 6 inches of along at the time, and then keep going over it. You will get to a point where it starts to separate, but then of course the glue will have pretty much started to stick itself back together again on the lower part of it. So just take your time with it. I've put mine back in the oven for a couple more minutes just to sort of I don't know, well, basically just to sort of soften all the glue all the way up, all the way around it. So there it goes, a couple more minutes, and then it should be alright, because I've actually got the top edge off. So yeah, so once the glue's softened all the way around, I should just be able to pull it apart, because it is actually split pretty much, just it's holding on for dear life. Winner. Now, so see, the worst bit to actually get to was this side down here, because it's got this plastic lip where it's glued on the inside. But once you've got pretty much like 2/3, you know, like all the way around to there and there, as long as that's soft enough, which it was, because in the oven, you could kind of just pull it away and it just came kind of separated, no problem. So the next thing we do is we're going to get this here, which is the duct, and we're going to put it on a bit of paper like that. And then we're going to sort of draw ourselves a small template, a rough template anyway, that was going to allow us to transfer that onto the glass, so that we can see where we need to drill and where we need to cut. Obviously what I'm going to do is, when I draw it on, there's a little overlapping lip there, which is very difficult to see, but there is an angle there. I'm going to cut the hole slightly inwards of that anyway, when I go around, and then it allows me a bit of give and take, so that if I use the multi-tool, I can actually smooth it out to where I want it to actually sit, whereas if you do it too big to start with, it kind of failed. So yeah, so I'll draw this as a rough template, follow that round, and then that should allow me to see the shape I need to make onto the headlight, and make it a little bit easier. Winner. Anyone remember Art Attack? Just me then. I don't know if you can actually make this out now on this film, but anyway, right, can you not? There you go. I'll just explain it anyway. So what I've done is, drew around it, I've got my shape, which is the same size as the vent, and then you can kind of just about make it out. I've used the shape, but I've gone inwards roughly about ½ inch from the edge of the shape and scored that shape around on the headlight. You can kind of just see it there almost. You can see the line of it there. There you go, zoomed in a bit better. Scored it with the screwdriver. So that means I'm going to drill all my holes all around there and then see how far off fitting it is, and then it allows me to actually just enlarge it in the places that it needs. So I've not got it too far. There's probably a much easier method of doing this, but this is the only one I've thought of for now, so this is how I'm going to do it. And then it allows me to start getting the hole ready so that that will fit in, and also be able to see where that's going to line up as well. So I'm assuming, because of the little overlap, see the little overlap on that tab there, that there is going to kind of get into the corner of there, hopefully. Going to sort of sit on there. So I've taken that edge about there, because then that should take up for that and allow me space to smooth as well. So let's go and drill a whole lot of holes and then go and see if I've got a multi-tool, because I don't know if I have actually. If not, I'll be buying one, and this video will be a little bit delayed. So one incredibly rough hole chopped out. Incredibly rough being the word, but at least you can sort of see the idea of how that's going to work and where it's going to fit. Like I say, that hole is way too small because I've measured it wrong. But there you go. That's the first initial sort of idea done. And now I can sort of shape it to how I need it to fit. But I've got the actual shape sort of done. For some reason, when I've actually marked it on the headlight, I've marked it inches too small compared to my little template. I don't know how I've managed that, but there you go. So I'll need to remove quite a bit out of there, quite a bit out of there, quite a bit out of there, but I'll gradually do it so then it ends up fitting better, instead of doing it too close to be perfect to start with, which would have made it probably a lot worse than it could have been. So that's the next job with it. Also to find a multi-tool from somewhere. So we've got a hole cut, smoothed out as best I could, and now our scoop fits in. So that just needs sealed in there with some, I don't know, some bond or a seal or something. I'm going to take a trip to the local hardware shop and see if they've got anything in black or clear, hopefully black. And I'm just going to seal around. I'll probably seal it from the lip on that side, put the seal around there, then slot that into the headlight, and then weigh it down with something mega heavy like my wallet. That's a joke. Yeah, weigh it down with something really heavy. Just so it sort of seats it in, and then after that I can then go and make sure I've picked off all the remaining bits of glue that are all the way around there, which I've got most of them off, and then I can start making the hole on the other side of the headlight and get rid of the glue off that as well, and then stick it all back together using the same stuff that I've used to stick that into there, is the theory. Because it should be cheap, about £6 or £7 a tube with a bit of luck. So let's go and get some of that and then do this. So this is the stuff I've got. It says no fuss, but it'll probably be fuss. Ultimate performance for every task. This is a task, that's a task, and this claims to do every task, so this has got to be good. It says it's good underwater, so if I end up in a river, this should keep my headlight stuck together. 4-in-1 fixes, seals, plugs, glues, anti-mold technology. Sealed bonds even underwater, that's fascinating, cool. So we'll try that. See who gets on with that. That might be good to fix the hole in my flippers as well when I go diving. Probably won't be, but anyway, so we'll go and get the gun for that, seal around that, stick that together, and then we'll report back. Right, so we've used the gun. I've got it sealed in, and I've rested it in with a packet of Allen keys, which is probably the heaviest thing I could find quickly, and I've propped the headlight lens up with a can of Heinz Big Soup. Because that's always handy. It's a good soup, that as well. I think that's chicken and leek, that one. So we're just going to leave that to dry for a bit. I didn't read how long it says on the thing, but they're normally 24 hours, but I'll give it like about an hour or so, see how it goes. And what I might do is, I might actually sort of run a bit of seal on this side of the headlight. Well, maybe do it for the inside actually, a little bit more on the inside than first. As if it was like a shower, you know, stop all the moisture getting in. And then that should be that bit done. So we can move on to the inside of the lens and chop the hole. Where's the inside of the lens? There it is there. So So we need to cut this part here away. So this comes out on it separately. You squeeze these clips together. You got, I think there's 4 clips. There's one there, and I think one down there as well. Yeah, one down there. So once you remove those, you can take that off. And what we need to do is we need to keep this part here, and we'll chop kind of through that support, but not all the way through it, so it can still clip in there to keep that steady. That's what I'm going to do with that. I'll just cut straight down the middle of that one. I've actually started. I've put a cut in there with a hacksaw already, and then that should allow us the gap through there, which is where this little piece here I imagine fits. I don't really know. I think that goes through there. I might need to cut that hole bigger, but we'll have a look once we get this part chopped out. Good stuff. So we are all glued in. I am going to run more seal around it, but it's good. It's stuck. That's the important thing. And then I started to adjust this. First thing it is, I drew on it with a pen roughly where I wanted to make. I was trying to make like a sort of extend that corner into there, and then I scored it with a standing knife, and unfortunately it just decided it wanted to snap clean off. That's really brittle, that. So it's cut off into a big shape, which is not how I wanted it to be, but I did have to cut this to make the other part fit. So it does fit together, but it just looks a bit crap because of that bit there which snapped off. There's not much I can do about it. I'll probably just buy another headlight and start that bit again, but this main part's done, and that's the important bit really. I'm going to touch up the edges there. You can see the little white edges. I'm going to touch them up with a little bit of black paint anyway, so because this piece here has to fit inside the glass first before you put the headlight together, and it only just does, but it does fit. I'll put it together, then we'll show you what I mean about the bit that I've snapped off. Unfortunately, it kind of does make it look a bit rubbish, but I've come this far, so it'll do. It's only for summertime anyway, to get a bit of air through, so it'll be alright. So if you look from that angle, it's cool as hell, and then you get around there and you can see there where it's cracked the piece off. Whereas I was trying to shape it round so it would fit in better, but nah, it hasn't worked. But anyway, so what we'll do is we'll put it together. It's going to be okay for what I want it to be anyway. It's not really going to be a problem. It's just for like, I don't know, just to get a bit of air through to the filter really. So a little bit of mark's not going to matter. It kind of does line up with the hole in the headlight, but not properly, but it's not far off. So it does kind of line up with that. Come together loosely a bit, see? So there, so you can see through, so that's where your air's going to get in towards the air filter, so that's what it's there for. It's just a bit of a shame that snapped off. Yeah, never mind. So it'll be alright. I'll put a bit of black paint on the edges, it won't look quite as bad as it does, hopefully. And that'll be that. I might, yeah, no, I'll just put a bit of black paint on that edge, just them little white edges, and then it won't look too bad. You won't notice it anyway at 170, so it'll be alright. Ducty. There's the air filter sitting there. So, see my hand down there, right into the filter. Beautiful. Turns out as well that when I've done this joiner here, this filter sat there, so there was that part of that metal joiner was in here, so it was restricting all the air. Wouldn't have helped, but what I need to get done is I need to get an alloy pipe made in one piece all the way, so I can mount that further under there basically instead of where it is. There's also the filter catches on that piece of pipe there coming off the turbo, so if I can move the filter further this way by about 1 inch, which that pipe won't let me because it's not long enough, I could have all that in one piece in metal, and it could, you know, it could come out that way and then angle itself slightly downwards, which would be a lot better anyway. So I'm going to get that done. But yeah, that's it done, finished. I've also fitted some it's hard to tell with the black car, but the canards on the front bumper as well. Can you see them on there? It's got ducts and a duct. That's it, job done. There's the filter, look at that. Yeah, so to fit your headlight anyway, I just took the bumper off on this side, left all that side connected and just pulled it out. You can get to the bolt underneath, one on the side, and then you've got that one there, and there's one underneath your wing plastic. There's like it's a screw head, but it's a 10mm as well, just underneath there. And that's that. I snapped that when I bought it, so I had to glue it. But yeah, we're all done. It looks alright, doesn't it? Not bad. Put the bonnet down. Finished.